Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. So you all Anthony Anderson's significant other petitioned for legal separation, following 23 years of marriage, and everyone is losing their brains over it. Yet it seems as though she had a valid justification to foul, and young lady, it is all shades of. Insane Anthony Anderson is one of the primary stars of the hit series Blackish, as well as the side projects of Grownish furthermore. Blended-ish while his personality on screen has a blissful marriage it seems to be. That is not the situation, in actuality, in light of the fact that Alvina, his significant other for very nearly 23 years, is presently succumbing to separate from now before we get to the justification for the separation, and that stuff we should all pause for a minute to discuss how they met on the grounds that I believe that their romantic tale was so charming great, basically the start. So Anthony and Alvina both went to Howard College during the ADS, where Anthony was concentrating on theater expressions and Alvina was seeking after a 4-year certification in radio and TVs. Fascinating that despite the fact that they had no less than one common companion, they never met until Anthony's second year at the college. As per Anthony, he had a companion named Stacy, and he went to her condo to welcome her to an occasion. Stacy was not at the loft, but rather another lady was, and Anthony gave her the subtleties of the occasion. Stacy couldn't go to the occasion, however, her companion chose to go at. And that companion was Alvina. She spent time with Anthony at the occasion, and after they, before long, became hopelessly enamored. How charming is that? Yet Anthony lost his college grant in his lesser year and needed to exit school. He moved back home prior to moving to Los Angeles to seek after a vocation in acting since he had some insight from his time in school. Alvina then again had graduated and was working at NBC. Anthony's acting vocation didn't take off right away, and on the off chance that you have a ton of familiarity with media outlets, you will realize that it is extraordinarily difficult to stumble upon the opportunity of a lifetime. Alvina was really strong for Anthony, and she remained close to him despite the fact that he was battling financially at the time of being fired. Getting for him when he handled his most memorable huge job on the NBC's came hang time later. They had their most memorable youngster, a young lady named Kira, in 1996, and their subsequent kid was conceived, Ed, in 1998. In 1999, they commended their 10th commemoration, and afterward chose to take things a further step by getting hitched on their commemoration. Genuinely, like how charming is that? Not long after they got hitched, Alvina stopped her vocation so she could be a housewife and bring care of the children in the family back home. This was a gigantic penance for her, since she had previously buckled down and had to such an extent happening in her profession, yet she surrendered it all since she truly cherished her children and her better half. In a meeting with BMUK, Anthony uncovered exactly the amount he esteemed Alvina's penance, saying however she does as a housewife, very much like the wide range of various housewives and fathers, the nation over is priceless and unquantifiable, and I commend her for requiring her profession and her life to be postponed to assist with our life. It's an extreme penance that these housewives and fathers do things worked out in a good way for the family for 2 or 3 yet ours until various ladies began evening out allegations against Anthony, and I'm almost certain you all know the sort of charges that I'm discussing here. The main charge was by a female extra on the arrangement of Hustle and Stream, and in her police report, she guaranteed that she had been disregarded by Anthony and Wayne Witherspoon, who was the associate chief. She asserted that she had been baited to a trailer where she was abused. She guaranteed that Anthony and Wayne had effectively removed her garments, abused her, and they took photographs of her when she wasn't wearing any garments. Observers detailed hearing her shout, and afterward they had gone to the trailer and opened it. The casualty then, at that point, ran out of the trailer without wearing any garments, and here is the image of them. Court report, and the person in question's name has been obscured to safeguard her character. She prosecuted Anthony and Wayne, yet the case was tossed out of court on the grounds that the adjudicator guaranteed that there was no reasonable justification to attempt the case. However, this was not by any means the only time that he was denounced. In September 2004, he was charged by one more person for making licentious, what's more, undesirable assertions to her, assuming you get my float ship. Additionally, guaranteed he attempted to get genuinely personal with her without her assent in his changing area on his show All the Anderson. However, for reasons unknown, the case sort of disappeared, and we at no point and ever heard truly much about it in the future. Many individuals accept that he picked to privately address any outstanding issues, and she let the case kick the bucket. Of course, in 2018, reports released that he was being researched by the Los Angeles Police Division for supposedly disregarding a lady. Once more, truly what's happening, you all? What's the deal with Anthony? I sort of find it hard to trust that each of the three ladies were lying. I'm not saying that he did it. We should be extremely clear. I'm not saying that he made it happen, but at the same time I'm not saying that he didn't make it happen, and I'll pass on that to you folks. The case was dropped by the lap for absence of proof, and he wasn't charged all through this multitude of claims. However, Alvina remained next to him and stayed with them, yet not precisely all through you. See, they isolated in 2014 and she authoritatively petitioned for legal separation in 2015, and she expressed hostile contrasts as the justification for his separation. She additionally requested spousal help and essential guardianship of their child, who was 15 at the time. At the time, there were such countless bits of gossip that Alvina petitioned for legal separation, since Anthony had gone behind her back with entertainer Feline Graham. Feline rushed to close down the bits of hearsay on Twitter, expressing Gary with the T, "Just saw your post about Anthony Anderson. Gratitude for the giggle. I dropped out. I don't have the foggiest idea about the person." So the gossip sort of subsided after that, and we as a whole accept that the marriage was genuinely over. However, at that point, Alvina turned around sharply and fouled to have her movement of separation dropped. They reunited and lived sort of cheerfully, yet not ever after, in light of the fact that Alvina only sought legal separation a second time. Alvina, as of late, recorded a movement for the court to concede her separation from Anthony, and like whenever she first is mentioning spousal help as well. With respect to Anthony to pay her lawyer charges for the legal procedures, she likewise recorded hostile contrasts. As the explanation, she's trying to get separated, responding to the insight about separate from a fan said, "Is Anthony Anderson's significant other going to really go through the separation this time, young lady? This is the inquiry that all of us are posing to this fan," remarked Anthony Anderson. Separate is a significant LA. Few fans additionally feel that there is a going thing on Anthony and his Blackish co-star Tracy Ellis Ross, and that they might be sincerely elaborate. On the low, this fan said, "I don't have any idea why Anthony Anderson's significant other sought legal separation yet. Him and Tracy truly do appear to be very close external the blessed jobs." And this individual tweeted, "I wouldn't be shocked assuming Tracy wedded Anthony Anderson once his separation is last. Now, I have barely any familiarity with you folks, however I won't be astounded in the event that his distinctions end up being reconcilable." And she pulls out her movement. "I would not joke about this has occurred previously, so what's to prevent it from reoccurring? It is absolutely typical for individuals to petition for legal separation, then adjust their perspectives part of the way through. We're people, and it's simply human to alter your perspective on huge and significant choices, like getting hitched or getting a separation." Yet Anthony has now answered to her movement for separate and the vibes of things. He won't be setting up a battle, or even battle. As per court records, he recorded their date of detachment as February 25, 2022, and furthermore recorded hostile contrasts as the justification for their separation. He consented to pay spousal help, however mentioned that the specific not entirely settled at a later